Okay guys, these are the Beats Studio 3 and I actually like these. So I haven't used a pair of Beats since 2019 when I sold my white Studio 3s. From my memory, I absolutely loved how the Beats Studio 3s looked. And I'm not gonna lie, that's the main reason why I bought them back then. They also sounded fairly balanced, but heavily lacked any kind of dynamics. And what I mostly remember was their build quality was really bad. So every time I went to go put them on, it felt like they might snap because of how stiff they were, and they literally creaked every time. So I was honestly kind of disappointed last year when they released these Studio Pros and I saw that they were using the same exact design and build. I was hoping they would at least try to make it more durable, but hey, now here I am again. I bought another pair, mainly because even though it's the same design, I still love how these look, and I'm honestly just curious about how these sound, since a lot of people have been praising these, and they've been saying how even they compare these to the AirPods Max in terms of sound quality. So now I did not buy these new. I bought these slightly used in excellent condition for $125 or around $140 including tax and shipping. So not that bad. As you can see, I got these in the deep brown color, which I think looks stunning in person. The new colors for the Studio Pros are a lot more toned down and mature, which is great for people like me who don't really like flexing or wearing anything too flashy. I mean, all my t-shirts are black or white, and they're just plain Gildan t-shirts. I don't like wearing anything with logos. So yeah, let's get to these headphones. These do feel a little bit more flexible than the Studio 3s that I had back then. Maybe because I bought this used and it's been already kind of worn down a little bit. Back then when I had the Studio 3s, it was brand new. So maybe that's why it was so stiff. But yeah, these things do look really amazing. With this deep brown color, they removed the Studio and Wireless 3 kind of writing on the metal hinges, and now on the top it's completely blank. So I like that. Very, very simple branding. The only thing you can tell it's Beats is with the two B logos on each side. And on this brown color, the B is darkened, even though it is glossy, so you kind of have to look at it at a certain angle to see that the B is reflective, because most of the time it just kind of hides there, which I like. Okay. This thing is the exact same look as the original Studio 3s, and even going far beyond that, this is still the same exact design as the original Studio 2 wired headphones that released back in 2013. So it's been quite a while. Yeah, the same exact Beats design and the folding mechanism. So it's been quite some time. I mean, in my opinion, it's clearly iconic and still really, really sexy as ever, but I felt like maybe they could have put in some more R&D to try to make this more durable. Maybe kind of have some kind of new design for the hinges here so they don't snap as easily, because yeah, clearly nothing was changed. Now, of course, they do have some new features like the lossless audio quality over USB-C and stuff like that. Now, they do have some other stuff like spatial audio and head tracking for those Mac and iPhone users, but I mean, personally, I don't really care about that. I don't really like all that gimmicky kind of sound enhancing kind of stuff. I just like listening to the music the way it's supposed to be. Battery life from my time using it has been great. It's basically the same as the Studio 3s. They boast that these have 40-hour battery life without ANC, but I mean, everybody who buys these things are using them with ANC, and it's about 24 hours with ANC, which is about a 2-hour improvement over the previous Studio 3s. The noise canceling was also improved slightly compared to the Studio 3s. I mean, when I put them on, I can hear the noise cancellation at work, but they weren't as effective as I kind of hoped they would be. I thought they would be much stronger, but I mean, it's still okay for what it is, and it does block out most things in the background, but sometimes I felt like they weren't even doing as much work as just these leather ear pads isolating noise. So yeah, I wish the noise cancellation was better. But I guess if they have the AirPods Max, kind of makes sense that Apple doesn't want these to be that much better or competing with their own products. So maybe that makes sense why they kind of nerfed it, but it's still an improvement over the Studio 3s. I also want to mention that the comfort is okay with these. These do have that same Beats Studio kind of tight clamping force, which makes them good for when you're at the gym or something, or if you're very active and you're moving around a lot. These will stay tight on your head, but at the same time, they do get really hot on my ears, and they do get uncomfortable after a few hours of listening because their clamping force is pretty tight, so just keep that in mind. So the main thing I want to get into is, of course, the sound quality, and I like it. I actually really like how these sound. These, to me, sound pretty balanced and flat. Now, the bass is very controlled, and I did not find it overpowering whatsoever. Honestly, I found the bass kind of weak at times, if you were going to ask me. They really toned it down. At the same time, it's controlled, and in some tracks, it does pop up when it's supposed to. So, yeah, I think it's a good balance where the bass is at right now. Bass heads might be disappointed with this, which is, why they sometimes still like the older Beats, but for me, I like where the bass is at right now. These, in general, sound way better than the Studio 3s that I had in the past, and it's definitely the best sounding Beats that I've tried so far. The soundstage isn't that wide. It still sounds fairly close to my ears, and like there's not that much of a sense of space when using these, so everything still kind of has that like stereo speaker kind of effect where everything's just flat, but I mean, it's still okay. The treble is also pretty pronounced on these, I would say that. These things are sparkly. I didn't feel like the tracks sounded sibilant though, but some people might find that the treble can be harsh at times, and depending what track you're listening to. Now, I am very sensitive to treble, and sometimes I felt like it was a bit hot on these, but it never really got piercing to my ears. So it wasn't that bad. You still get a lot of details here. The treble is at the peak for me. I would not want this to get any kind of more sparkly or harsh, because at that point it would be sibilant. I feel like my main problem, if I'm talking about the sound quality, is the dynamics. And that's because this is tuned, well, it's tuned really flat and balanced, which I like, but the dynamics aren't there, and it kind of feels lifeless sometimes. Now, headphones can be balanced and tuned really well and still sound very fun and dynamic. I mean, just to throw something out there, my IEMs, the Moondrop and Critical Dusk, those sound really amazing. There's so much dynamics going on there, and yet I find that the frequency response is perfectly tuned. This one is tuned really flat, I think, to just excel in all types of music genres, but at the same time, it's flat and balanced, I would say, but the dynamics aren't there. It just feels lifeless. So I feel like that's my main problem with these. If you really want to kind of feel your music, I feel like you have to play it at a fairly bit louder volume than you're used to. Again, that's kind of my main complaint. Everything about this otherwise is very nice, and I like listening to these, honestly. I actually like the sound that comes out of these headphones. So even though it's not that exciting, at least it is still very pleasurable to listen to. So for the MSRP of $350, this is definitely not worth it. Yet again, I don't think anybody is really buying these at full price, since these usually go on sale for about $250 like it currently is on Amazon. In fact, I think like 2 months after these were released, I remember these were already being sold on Amazon for $150. So yeah, these things regularly go on sale and at huge discounts. And at $150, I can say, I mean, I would definitely pick one of these up as a day-to-day noise cancellation headphone. $150, this is really, really good for the price. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Besides this plasticky build quality, which you can hear creaking as I am moving them around right now. They are a pretty decent pair of headphones. They sound good, and there's nothing too offensive about them. They are very portable at the same time. It's just that the build quality is a little lackluster. I forgot to talk about the case. So the case now is like some kind of black. I don't really know what this is. It's like a canvas kind of material, stitched, and it's not hard and it's not completely soft. It's kind of like a mix of in between. It's actually pretty nice. It won't provide as much protection as the previous hard case, of course, but I don't know. I still like this case. It's pretty nice. But yeah, that's it for the case. In my next video, I will be comparing these with my go-to noise cancellation headphones for the past few years, which are the new Bose Quiet Comforts. Now, the ones I'm going to be comparing these to are actually the new 2023 Bose Quiet Comforts, the ones that are released as the successor to the QC45s, even though they're basically the same headphones. So yeah, look forward to that in the next video. Studio Pro 2023 versus Bose Quiet Comfort 2023 in the next video. So we'll see which one is better, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.